Good evening. May I have your attention, please? Good evening and welcome to the Isleta Independent School District's meeting of the Board of Trustees. The meeting of the Board of Trustees is a meeting of the board that the public is allowed to attend. As provided, Isleta ISD Policy BED, we invite members of the public to make comments during citizens' input portion at the start of the meeting according to the instructions provided with the electronic posting notice of our meeting. Legally, the board may listen but may not enter into a discussion on the matters on citizens' input. We remind everyone that this is a board meeting often attended by students and ask that we all conduct ourselves in a manner that best represents the values and traditions of the Isleta Independent School District. This meeting of the Board of Trustees is called to order at 6:01 p.m. We have a quorum with Mr. Shane Haggerty, Mr. Sotero Ramirez, Mr. Mike Rosales, Ms. Connie Woodruff, and myself, Cruz Ochoa. Trustee Bustillo is unable to join us and is considered excused, and Trustee Lucero is running late. It has become a tradition to honor our nation at each of our board meetings by presenting the colors, reciting the Pledge of Allegiance, and then posting the colors. The colors tonight are presented by the Junior ROTC Color Guard from the Riverside High School. The Color Guard commander is Cadet Lieutenant Colonel David Villanueva. The other Color Guard members are Captain Michaela Reyes, Cadet Sergeant Major Juan Gonzalez, Cadet First Lieutenant Joe Lavario. The pledge leader is Cadet First Lieutenant Amiris Reza. Will you please stand for the presentation of colors, the reciting of the Pledge of Allegiance, the Texas Pledge of Allegiance, and a moment of silence. Please remain standing until the cadets have departed.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now, please join me in the pledge to the Texas flag. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. De La Torre, do we have recognitions and introductions this evening?
Good evening. Yes, President Ochoa, members of the board, and esteemed guests. We do, and I invite our Chief Human Capital Management Officer, Mrs. Bobby Russell Garcia, to lead in our recognitions and introductions this evening.
Good evening, Mr. President, members of the board, Superintendent Dr. De La Torre. We have 3 recognitions for you this evening. At this time, we ask all trustees to please come to the front of the dais for the presentation. Audience members, please remain seated until the recognition is complete. Thank you. Our first recognition honors 6 Ysleta Independent School District students who participated in the 2022 Lone Star Leadership Academy Summer Camp for their leadership ability, academic success, school involvement, and community activities. During the week-long camp, which took place in either the Dallas, Fort Worth, or Austin, San Antonio areas, these students enhanced their leadership skills while learning about the great state of Texas. Ladies and gentlemen, from Alicia R. Chacon International School, please welcome Giselle Carpiet. Fernando Flores. And Daniel Zavala. They are accompanied by Principal Candice Arispe. From our Parkland Pre-Engineering Middle School, please welcome Maximus Olvera. He is accompanied by Principal Dr. Angela Reyna. And from the Young Women's Leadership Academy, please welcome Karina Soto. She is accompanied by Principal Melinda Villalobos. Let's hear it once again for these outstanding students. Our next recognition honors 23 students who are among the best in the area after winning spots on their Class 4A, 5A, or 6A All-Region Jazz Bands. We begin with students from Eastwood High School, Hanks High School, Parkland High School, and the Young Women's Leadership Academy, who are named to the All-Region Jazz Band for Region 22 by TMEA, or the Texas Music Educators Association. More than 100 students from local districts competed for only 42 available spots, and Ysleta ISD students made up the largest number of students in the band. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome our first group of musicians from Eastwood High School, beginning with Michael Barlow. Giovanni Falvo. Joanne Manquero. Nicholas Olson. And Michael Vaite. They are accompanied by band director John Matthews and Principal Bonita Torres. Congratulations to the troopers. Now, please welcome our outstanding jazz musicians from Hanks High School, beginning with Caleb Carlos. Jacob Jimenez. Edwin Martinez. Judith Olivas. And D'Angelo Perez. They are accompanied by band director Horacio Gomez and principal Ruben Cadena. It's okay. Let's hear it again for the Knights. Next, we have TMEA All-Region Jazz Band members from Parkland High School and the Young Women's Leadership Academy. From Parkland High School, please welcome Sierra Stewart. Sierra is accompanied by teacher Agatha Orona and principal Javier Salgado. And from the Young Women's Leadership Academy, let's congratulate Kyra Smith. Kyra is accompanied by band director Amy Smith and principal Melinda Villalobos. Congratulations to Sierra and Kira. Now let's welcome the All-Region Jazz musicians from Isleta High School. Please help me welcome Roberto Aguirre, Joaquin de Avila, Carlos Gutierrez, Brandon Hidalgo, and Victor Torres. They are accompanied by band director Daniel Colunga and principal Judith Calderon. Let's hear it one more time for the Indians. Our final group of outstanding student musicians tonight is from Riverside High School. They were selected for the Class 4A All-Region Jazz Band by the Association of Texas Small School Bands. Please help me welcome Kelly Barbosa, Alaya Juarez, Miguel Monroy, Felipe Ortiz, Jesus Villasana, and Steve Vincent. They are accompanied by band director Jason LaTurner and principal Maribel Guillen. Congratulations to the Riverside Rangers. Tonight's final recognition is in honor of some of the hardest working leaders in our district, our principals. Every year in the month of October, we celebrate them as part of National Principals Month, and we thank them for helping shape our future generations through their dedication, wisdom, and vision. Tonight, we present them with a small token of appreciation for helping protect and maintain our standing as the only A-rated District of Champions in El Paso. Let's give our amazing principals a huge round of applause. We begin with our Bel Air Learning Community principals. Your collective efforts to bring historic change and a renewed sense of pride and excellence to the Big Red community are rewarding and fulfilling to watch, and we honor your fiery loyalty and passion. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Del Norte Heights Elementary School, Roxanne Murpha. From Loma Terrace Elementary School, James McIntyre. From North Loop Elementary School, Chris Puga. From Sageland Elementary School, Jacqueline Salas. From Bel Air Middle School, Gabriel Lopez. And from Bel Air High School, Jake Valtiera. Let's hear it again for Big Red Pride. And now for our Del Valle Learning Community principals. You are compassionate, caring school leaders whose foundation is based on the belief that every child matters and deserves the opportunity to thrive. We honor your hardworking spirit and perseverance. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Alicia R. Chacon International School, Candice Arispe. From Del Valle Elementary School, Maritza Balderrama. From Lancaster Elementary School, Norma Sierra. From Mission Valley Elementary School, Michelle Romero. From Del Valle Middle School, Veronica Frias. And from Del Valle High School, Ivan Cedillo. Let's hear it again for Big Bad Blue. Now, let's spotlight our Eastwood Learning Community principals. Your expectation for excellence reflects your abundance of A-rated schools, and you let nothing stand in the way of student progress. We honor your leadership and unfailing devotion to students. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from East Point Elementary School, Claudia Poblano. From Eastwood Heights Elementary School, Raul Mendoza. From Eastwood Knolls International School, Robert Robledo. From Edgemere International School, Maria Gonzalez. From Scottsdale Elementary School, Juan Guzman. From Eastwood Middle School, Sarah Venegas. And from Eastwood High School, Bonita Torres. Let's hear it again for El Paso's finest. And now we have our Hanks Learning Community principals. You proudly pursue growth and success for every student, all while emphasizing the importance of courage, service, and generosity. We honor your resilience and tradition of excellence. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Glen Cove Elementary School, Margarita Mendoza. From Pebble Hills Elementary School, Irene Youngs. From Ariel Washington International School, Mauricio Cano. From Tierra del Sol Elementary School, Monica Triplett. From Vista Hills Elementary School, Karina Salgado. From Hanks Middle School, Pauline Muela. And from J.M. Hanks High School, Ruben Cadena. Let's hear it again for the Kingdom of Champions. Now, let's bring up our Parkland Learning Community principals. Your boldness and heartfelt pride is evident in everything you do, and it keeps your students on the leading edge of greatness. We honor your fearlessness and glorious achievements. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Desert Air Elementary School, Dr. Sandra Calzada. From Dolphin Terrace Elementary School, Lorraine Martinez. From North Star Elementary School, Stephanie Larman. From Parkland Elementary School, Dana Boyd. From Parkland Pre-Engineering Middle School, Dr. Angela Reyna. And from Parkland High School, Javier Salgado. Let's hear it again for the park. Now we have our Riverside Learning Community principals. Your focus and persistence have inspired a new sense of accomplishment and pride and created more opportunity for students than ever before. We honor your enthusiasm and relentless pursuit of success. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Constance Holbert Elementary School, Sofia Fierro. From Ramona Elementary School, Darlene Martinez. From Riverside Elementary School, Claudia Ureño Olivas. From Thomas Manor Elementary School, Sandra Stresso. From Isleta Pre-K Center, Rita Lopez Rodriguez. From Riverside Middle School, Daniel Medina. And from Riverside High School, Maribel Guillen. Let's hear it again for Riverside Forever. From our namesake feeder pattern, we have the Isleta Learning Community principals. You lead your campuses with a rich history of tradition, yet constantly look to the future to ensure students are ready for the opportunities of tomorrow. We honor your proud determination and legacy of excellence. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Capistrano Elementary School, Norma Myers. From Paso Del Elementary School, Natalie Alvarez. From Presa Elementary School, Wendy Banegas. From Isleta Elementary School, Amy Alarcon. From Isleta Middle School, Jose Perez. And from Isleta High School, Laura Calderon. Let's hear it again for our One Tribe. And now let's bring up our final group of principals from our specialty campuses. You expertly serve a wide range of students and families and are uniquely suited to meeting their needs thanks to your faithful commitment. We honor your impressive strength and dedication. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Cesar Chavez 6th Grade Academy, Dolores Acosta. From Cesar Chavez Academy, Antonio Acuña. From Plato Academy, Gloria Spencer. From Valle Verde Early College High School, Penelope Bankston. From Young Women's Leadership Academy, Melinda Villalobos. And from Isleta Community Learning Center, Cindy Sizemore. Congratulations to all of our principals. Let's give them another round of applause. This concludes our recognitions for tonight. Thank you.
Oh, we're missing Shane. Oh, okay.
I joked with Brenda. And she,
By the end of the first.
Can somebody round up Mr. Haggerty? Sir, looking for Mr. Haggerty, is he here?
All right. Ms. Mathewson, do we have citizens' input this evening?
No, President Ochoa, we don't.
Okay, thank you. Dr. De La Torre, do you have any reports for us this evening?
Good evening, President Ochoa, members of the board, and esteemed guests. We do. We have 3 reports. The superintendent's COVID update, and I'll ask Ms. Leeper to deliver that, followed by the 2022 district ratings. I'll ask Dr. Chacon to deliver that, and Ms. Ximping Shi is here if you have any questions relative to the summary of the internal audit.
Good evening, President Ochoa, members of the board, and Dr. De La Torre. I have a brief one-slide presentation on COVID. I know you're disappointed. I'm sure you will be delighted, though, to know that we are still in a level low transmission throughout the county. The number of weekly cases per 100,000 is probably right around 25. The weekly hospitalizations per 100,000 is around 5 to 7. And our rate of hospitalization is well below 5%. So in terms of what we have seen in the past with COVID, we are doing very well. And we're headed into the flu, cold COVID season. So I'm actually pretty pleased to see these particular results that were updated last Friday. And with that, I can take any questions you might have.
I have a quick question for, either for Dr. De La Torre or
Go ahead.
President Cruz. Well, I appreciate Ms. Leeper's reports every month. You know, things have changed significantly, even the way the city and the county report their
Yes, sir.
COVID results and stuff. I'm just wondering if I know we would still maintain our due diligence, and maintain our surveillance. Do we really need to continue doing the report every month, or would you like to do it to the end of the year, or what would you like to do?
It's entirely up to the board, but as you mentioned, if there was something unusual or if there was a turn of events, then we'd simply go back to reporting. So if you'd like to have us finish the year, we'll finish the year, and then starting in January, we can give it a rest and see how things go through flu season, and then return to it if the board would like to report.
I think that'd be a wise decision too, because we're going into the colder months of the year, and with flu and everything else, cold and everything. This would be, I don't mind keeping up to maybe at the end of the year, and then we'll look at it at that time and see how things are going, and maybe we'll just, like I said, you're still going to monitor it. We just keep on reporting that every month. So
Yes, sir.
if that's okay with the rest of the board.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ms. Leeper.
Good evening, President Ochoa, members of the board, Dr. De La Torre. It is with great pleasure that I introduce to you something you already know, that we are A-rated. But the question is, how or did we get our rating, and the details behind it. So, as you know, we are an A-rated district. And we get rated in 3 domains. The first one is student achievement. The second one is student growth. The third is closing the gaps, which creates an overall rating of a 91. In domain 1, we were an 85. Domain 2, student growth, 93. Domain 3, 85, for an overall average of a 91 rating for the district. The district's performance was above 90 in CCMR, growth, performance, and relative to districts with the same percentage of economically disadvantaged students. So this breaks it down for you a little further. It takes the first domain, which is student achievement, which we received an overall B. In student achievement, we include STAR performance for 3rd through 8th, and of course EOC, our college and career readiness, and our graduation rate. For school progress, it takes our academic growth, that all students have made a year's growth from one grade level to the next, and closing the gaps, we also scored a B for 85. Campuses rated by letter grade, again, great news, 52% of the campuses in the Isleta district were rated an A, 46% were rated a B, and 1 campus was rated a C. We had no not rated campuses. We have not a single campus score a D or an F, which this year you will see reported as not rated. In academic distinctions, 3 schools received all 7 distinctions that are available for them, but 78% of our schools received 1 or more distinctions. Those distinctions vary from reading, math, school progress, closing the gaps, science. They range from a different array of distinctions. And with that, that's my presentation. Any questions?
The only thing I would like to reinforce, you know, the celebration, the acknowledgement that we had for our principals. And this verifies the hard work that's involved in reaching these levels and where we come. And I truly, Dr. De La Torre, you can reiterate this to them again, how I appreciate all their hard work. And it's just great to be associated with a bunch of great people in this district. I'm honored to be sitting here and saying that.
Absolutely. It's something you've already heard, but what they were able to perform coming out of pandemic is pretty
Unbelievable.
remarkable.
I wish they were all here
Yes.
to hear this, but thank you so much.
Thank you. Anybody else? I would like to mention the fact, especially to our community, that our B-rated schools were right at some of them were right at the cusp of being rated A. I think they were like 89 or something like that. And I know that all of you have been hard at work since the beginning of this school year to bring that up even beyond those, the 90, especially into the low 90s, or maybe some of you in the high 90s. So I know that we are working hard together, and I can see it. It has been a privilege to be part of this community and on this board, where we are achieving some levels that nobody thought we could, especially from the state. But we are there to be the leaders of our community, and I think this proves it further as to how we are doing things well. One of the things I did want to ask you is on student achievement. What are some of the things that we are doing to bring that 85 up?
So student achievement includes all the tested grades. So it's reading, math, science, and social studies. So it takes the average of all. We looked at our data, we're breaking it down. There was growth to be made in science. Science was an area because at the beginning, if you recall, when we first came back, things weren't as normal as they are now. So science labs, things of that, that's hands-on. We went back to the pedagogy. But I have no doubt that every single one of those, PLC, making sure that our students do not go backwards. We call it growth. We'll make sure that we're working very hard. All our PLCs, instructionally, teachers, everything. We're working on every single grade level, every single subject.
Good, good. And again, I would reiterate what Mr. Rosales says, that we are very proud of our principals, our teachers, everybody that has contributed to the well-being and the education of our kids. And I just see the sky's the limit for us. We shouldn't rest on what we've done so far. We should go ahead and push further, within reason, of course, to make sure that our kids get the best education possible in El Paso. But thank you again.
One thing that I'd like to add with all that you said, I think we also need to let our constituents in all areas of our district clearly see the progress, and also in addition to that, their willingness to provide us with those $845 million of bonds that have upgraded our facilities, which now we look at the improvement. It's a win-win situation, but I thank the people of our district, our Ysleta district, for having the foresight and I guess the willingness to lend so much money, and how it's been applied and how our children are enjoying part of all this progress. Thank you, sir.
If
Well
I could
said,
just
Mr. Rosales.
make one comment, because she's way, way too humble. Dr. Chacon has had, she's been the author, the architect of what we've done in this district academically for the better part of almost 8 years. And she never, ever takes any credit. But because of her team, they're in the back, over on the side, they provide principals with the resources and the direction and the template and the instructional framework that makes it possible for our principals to lead consistently across the district without any deviation from one campus to another. And that really promotes something that a lot of school districts are struggling with, and that is equity, and refusing to believe that your zip code is going to have some impact or influence. We get a lot of attention for is schools that you would normally see because of demographics not performing as well as schools in more affluent parts of a district generally don't perform as well as affluent schools. In the Ysleta Independent School District, to the degree that we can make the argument would be that in many cases, some of our less affluent schools perform as well, and in some cases outperform more affluent schools because they're getting the same level of resources, but more importantly, the expectations in this district don't change because you happen to be at a school in the Lower Valley or in the Northeast. The expectations are consistent across the district. And I like to say there's no such thing as an academic achievement gap. In many school districts, there's an expectation gap. And students will typically perform to the level of expectations you put out there. And what we've been, I think, very good at, and Dr. Chacon and her team have been very good at, is absolutely expecting the same from everyone, regardless of where their school is located in the Ysleta Independent School District. So congratulations to Dr. Chacon, her team, her support team, for their leadership.
Thank you, Dr. Alcora. We have a great team of ladies. Can you please stand to be recognized because they're outstanding. They work hard every day. They know who they are. And without our principals, we wouldn't be where we're at. We have outstanding leadership in this district, starting from the board to superintendent to our cabinet, but our principals, like we just recognized them, it takes a lot to be a principal nowadays. We're very grateful for their leadership. Thank you.
Thank you.
Miss Champagne, come on up. You look rested, kind of glowing.
I miss my scooter. It could be faster. Okay. Good evening, Board President Ochoa, Dr. De La Torre, and all board members. Champagne is here to give you a report. So we have this month, I gave you a printout. These are total of the 51 projects that we worked on since last full meeting. So within past 5 weeks, these are the 51 projects we work on. 4 of them are either in the testing or draft reporting. 6 of them, we issue audit report with a corrective action plan required. 7 of them, we issue corrective action plan and needed follow-up audit. 29 of these completed. Complete meaning when we audited the first time, there was no finding, or when we issued a CAP report, it was addressed, or when we do the follow-up audit and complete the whole process. 5 projects, we're still doing follow-up audit. So these are the 51 totals. And during this time, we have 4 new highlights. These are the audit report we issued during this time, needing corrective action plan. Those are in red, meaning we have some findings. And the ADA, elementary school ADA, coding, we have 8 schools needing some forms of corrective action plan. 22 of them had no findings. During this time, we issued 7 corrective action plans, and these need follow-up audits. These are the follow-up audit we completed, and they were audit we did in 2021, and now we do follow-up audit. 2022, we have the elementary school cash management follow-up audit. One of the schools we did follow-up audit, and it was all implemented well, no more finding. 4 cases of hotline. 2 of them were related to employee behavior. 2 of them were about clock in, clock out issues, and these were all forwarded to human resource, and they take care of it. We have 11 department audit projects going on. We have two department and 2 campus follow-up audit going on. We have completed 16 of the 20 carry-forward projects. And with your support, we guarantee continue to receive A rated. I have to say, without principals' cooperation and without all of your support, I really cannot function. So I really appreciate it. You get all my fortune cookies. Do you have any question for me?
I do.
Yes,
On
sir.
your, I'm noticing on their corrective action plans, if you put it back to, one more back, more, oh, no. Where you said you had, oh, here it is, correct.
These are the audit report we issue, have finding, and we expect to receive.
Well, you
corrective
said
action plan.
a lot of your corrective action plans are scheduled for 2023?
Yes, sir. If we audit now, some of those.
Oh, yeah, here it is, yeah. Now, on these follow-up audits, 2023, what is your average time from the time you issue the corrective action plan to your follow-up audit? What is the average time frame for that?
We try to finish it within 6 months, but sometimes, like for ADA, we try to time it. It would take longer, is because we try to time it before PIM submission. That way, then we do the follow-up. We
Well,
can help out to pre-screen before the submission.
I would like, if the board doesn't have any objections, to have a little bit firmer date for this follow-up audits. If you say 6 months, then it should give you a ballpark area as to when you should have that plan for next year already. That way,
I think if you look at the schedule with the timeline, most of them I do have months. For example, 2022, that means we plan to do it October 2022. And on the 2023, I will have those scheduled probably in December.
okay, that's all I want, is a little bit more, not just next year, the next year can be, other things could come up that would influence your scheduling. So
Sure.
if you could kind of project at least 6 months, let's say you gave your corrective action plan, then just as a standard, I would say, well, 6 months from now, we should be doing the follow-up. Okay, that would help you in your scheduling too. That way you have it laid out instead of just having it laying out there for the whole year. And then when you try to schedule it here at the end of the year for next year, at least those are already kind of firm dates.
Okay.
Okay,
Well,
just, you can do it any way you want, but I would like to see a little bit more scheduling, hard scheduling on these instead of just next year. That's what my,
We try not to, for follow-up audit, I try not to be so specific, because if I put that in corrective action plan report, the principal may be too nervous.
say what?
If we, for example, if I do ADA audit report, I say, okay, in 2023, we're going to do it in May. But this is a little bit harder to predict, because we will need to see academic schedule. Once academic calendar comes out, we make adjustments. And so for follow-up audit, we try to let principal or the departments know about 3 weeks ahead of time, rather than
Well, if
7,
I was
8 months.
if I was a principal and I'm saying you're going to come back about this particular time, I'd start thinking about how I'm going to prepare for that instead of 3 weeks before you show up, and then I gotta scramble and make whatever it is. But if I know I'm speaking for principals, but I'm not a principal. But if I know you're coming in 6 months, at least I can lay that out in my schedule as, okay, we got to have this ready, this ready, and this ready. And that would help them out too. So that way they're not 3 weeks from we're coming over there. It's like, okay, we're in the middle of this or in the middle of that. I'm just saying that the scheduling, if you could firm it up a little bit better.
Okay, we can do that. I
You
just
know,
thought it was.
I don't know, I guess if some of the principals will probably call me and tell me I'm crazy, but, it's one of those things that I think is in managing that you want to know when and about approximately so you can prepare, I was an auditor, that's why I'm a little bit familiar with that. In my other life, I was an auditor, and we always told them actually about a year ahead of schedule, we're going to go to your place and we're going to audit you. And then after that, we gave them a timetable to fix things up, and then we go back and check it. So it's all laid out. And I think they appreciate that, but I might be wrong.
We will try to work with everybody.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
And I agree with what you're saying. I guess in my mind, I would, the principals go through a lot of stress. And I'm not contradicting. I'm just saying, is this something very doable within the principals? We have some principals out there. Is it two?
One.
You can speak for all of them now.
Yeah, I'm just, I agree I don't disagree with the audit system, don't get me wrong, but there's a lot on your plate. There's a lot on the plate of everyone. And when you talk about principles, that's where the rubber meets or the metal meets the rubber. Is this something would be sufficient? And I'm asking as someone who's not familiar with it, because I've never done audits. Well, I have done, but not that type. But is it something that you could work within a certain limit of time? We don't want to put you on the spot, don't get me wrong.
So what is it exactly that you're asking regarding the timeline? Is that what you're asking?
Yes, if you like Mr. Ochoa says we should do it within, let's say by May. I'm going to use it.
Sure. I know that in the past, when Champagne has come, she lets us know about 3 weeks before, say, hey, I'm coming on around these days. Can you please have this prepared? We do have a lot on our plates. It is good to be told in advance, but
Okay.
too far in advance is something that we're not looking so far in advance for that, at least for me. But 3 weeks, 4 weeks is a good enough time for us to kind of have things ready, because it gives us that time to prepare. At least that's for me. Because it's on our calendar and we'll put it there, we know it's upcoming, but it's kind of that reminder, okay, I'm coming when we're closer to it. That's how I see it.
So let me ask you this. So she puts it for 2023, so it's open. It could be at the end of next year, it could be the beginning of the next school year. Does that have an impact on how you prepare for this?
Well, it does. Getting a more exact time, of course, would be more beneficial to us, knowing, rather than doing, sometime 2023, that could be any time, of course. But yes, if we can get February 2023, then we know. Okay, by that time we need to be.
Well, that's something like she says, she can work out with
Absolutely.
your most of the principals and come up with a consensus as to how to accomplish this, and giving you enough notification that I know you guys are real busy, but at least hey, this is coming up.
Yes.
You can put it on your calendar.
Absolutely.
And then you can start pre-planning for whatever it is that you need to
And if we do
do.
have that, let's just say February date, but then, 3 weeks before, she sends another reminder and says, hey, don't forget, we're coming out, that would be even better for us.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it's important to keep in mind that when a school is out of compliance, they don't get 6 months to get into compliance. That has to happen immediately. So whatever they're going to do differently has to happen the minute they're made aware of it, which Champaign is giving them time to do. And I understand President Ochoa's interest. If they know that she expects a report, for example, if there is a finding this month, she could say, I expect a report and I expect to visit you and review the report by February 2023. However, the school doesn't have the luxury or the latitude to remain non-compliant until February of 2023. So whatever you're going to do within the first week or second week of learning that you're out of compliance, right?
That is
Then it's a
correct.
matter of putting it in writing,
That's correct. We come up with a plan and then we submit it with.
and then she's just coming out to take a look at it,
Yeah, we can't-
do a spot visit to see whether or not the plan that you described to her immediately is having the impact or the effect that she wanted.
That's correct. She monitors and makes sure.
Yeah, I just didn't want anyone to leave thinking that we're going to take 6 months to figure out how we're going to be compliant and continue to be non-compliant for another 6 months. That has to be, we have to be responsive immediately to anything that is out of compliance when it deals with PEMS or money or anything like that. The report can wait a couple of months, but you have to execute what you have to execute the day after you learn that you're out of compliance.
That is correct.
Appreciate that, but it's not translated into this, into how she presented it to the board. So that was my concern, is like, it's going to take 6 months to fix these things and then come back and audit you. And so, as Dr. De La
No,
Torre
it is
just pointed out,
Yeah,
I think
it's
that's,
exactly like Dr. De La Torre said. She gives us that time, we give her the plan, and then she comes back and reviews what we've set in place to make sure. it's
within a
correct
couple of
decision.
weeks, not months.
I'm sorry?
Within a couple of weeks if you are out of compliance.
Well, the plan we submit, but it depends, but most of the time, for example, when I came to North Loop, she did an audit, she found, we had some findings, we submit a plan, and then she went back within about 2 months to just check
Well-
what was going on, to make sure we had everything in place. She reviewed the plan to see if we had that done, and then she cleared it that way.
So I guess it all depends on how severe and how, and the risk.
Which is-
Yeah, okay. Well, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for addressing the board
I
on
hope
this
it
issue,
helps.
because, you know,
Thank you, appreciate that.
Our audit report issue with the the fourth Monday of the audit report issue day, we expect to receive corrective action plan. And principal department chair are very good with this. The follow-up is the one that we're more flexible, not flexible, we have to be, depends on the type of finding, depends on the type of audit, because sometimes we could see right away. Sometimes we do need the data, need the event to happen to see if the corrective action plan implementation is effective or not.
that's also, you have in your audit plan, you have a risk assessment that you follow, right?
Yes.
So do you rely on that when you're making these audits? Okay.
Those are the ones that we decide which audit to carry out.
With the risk and the level of severity that these are on. Okay. All right,
Thank you.
thank you. Thank you, everyone. We will now start the agenda review. We will now discuss agenda items as listed in the posted notice of the regular meeting of Isleta ISD Board of Trustees for October 19, 2022, and related recommended motions with the superintendent and executive cabinet, and receive responses to questions and/or requests for additional information through the superintendent in preparation for deliberation and action on said items at the October 19, 2022 regular Board of Trustees meeting. Please stop me if you have any questions or wish to pull any item for separate consideration. Consent items. Number 1, Board of Trustees workshop and regular board meeting, September 14, 2022, 6 p.m. Consent item number 2, Board of Trustees board retreat, September 17, 2022, 9 a.m. Consent item number 3, monthly financial update as of August 2022. Consent item number 4, annual report of cooperative purchasing fees. Item number 5, approval of 2022-2023 board operating procedures. Consent item number 6, designating and renaming of the North Loop Elementary as International School.
Mr. Ochoa,
Yes.
I'd like to pull that one for a separate motion, please.
Okay, pull out consent item number 6. Consent item number 7, approval of ISD contract number 202-30055 with the city of El Paso.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
I just want to clarify, is there any cost involved with this, Dr. La Torre?
Yes, sir, about $250,000 each.
And we're putting one sign?
I'm sorry?
And we're putting up one sign on number 7?
So we put one up at McRae, right in front of the fire station, all the way across it. So from
Yeah,
Eastwood.
McCray and Dockery?
I'm sorry?
McCray and Dockery?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I was just curious about the cost involved. That's,
It's about $250,000.
okay.
I ask, what does these look like?
So you're probably familiar with the one in front of Isleta High School? That was placed there probably 5 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same system. One for Eastwood, there in front of the school where the students will likely cross over at the fire station and continue to that new strip mall that's going up. And then on the next item, and I'll just address it since they go together, at Bel Air High School in front of the sports complex on Yarborough,
Yeah.
intersecting with Esther. So it will go completely across Yarborough and intersect Esther and the sports complex. And the cost for each is about $250,000.
I
Which
think,
comes out of our funds, is that the way it is?
Yes, sir.
The city's not paying for anything?
I'm sorry?
The city does not pay for, I'm sorry.
No, the city does not pay for any of that. They do the design, the construction, all of the work, but it is always at our cost. All school flashers, school signs, all of those things are at the district's cost.
those McRae and Yarborough are pretty busy streets.
They are
especially-
indeed. And the city would not put them in if they did not believe it would not improve school safety or improve the safety conditions for students crossing in those areas. If it wasn't warranted, they wouldn't do it even though we request it and pay for it.
I just wanted to say, they've gotten a little more expensive since we did Isleta's.
Isleta's was close to that.
Was it? Mm-hmm. Okay. And I will say to the board and to everybody here, I think those lights save lives, and Ms. Rendon's back there nodding her head. We've had to deal with students and pedestrians being struck in the past years, and so it gives me great comfort. And yeah, there's a cost associated with it, but if we can protect our kids at two additional high schools, I'm all for it.
No, safety is, you can't put a price on safety of our children.
I just wanted to say, too, that in my learning community, Bel Air Learning Community, I have had several of the neighborhood associations who are very, very concerned about that crossing exactly where you're putting this, because it is just an accident waiting to happen. It really is, because people are going down that street. There's lots of people going down that street, but also whenever you get that sports center full of people and people crossing back and forth, people are not paying attention. It's just an accident waiting to happen, and I consider this a great blessing for the Bel Air Learning Community and the Eastwood Learning Community also. But just thank you so much for pursuing this, even though I know it is costing a lot of money. I know that the constituents in that area are going to be thrilled when they hear this. Thank you.
It's my pleasure. I will clarify, you know I'm very conservative, so of course I'm estimating the high end. Hopefully, they will bring it in at a little bit less, but most it could cost is $250 each.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much. It's safety, like Mr. Rosales and everybody here on the board, is our number one concern for our students. And those two avenues are so busy. It's just unbelievable. Yes, sir.
I was just wondering if there was a chance where we could partner with the city where they would pay for some of it. When we did the one at Bel Air, there was at least an opportunity, but they didn't approve it.
Sorry about that. We have tried to negotiate that in the past, but about 12 years ago, maybe 15 years ago, the city implemented an ordinance where all cost for school district signage, lights, falls on the backs of the school district. The city will not fund those anymore.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Consent item number 8, approval of ISD contract number 202-30054 with the city of El Paso. Pull consent agenda item number 6. Policy items. Number 1, correction of policy DEC local compensation and benefits, leaves and absences. Okay, action items. Number 1, endorsement of candidate for Region 19 member of the TASB Board of Directors. Action item number 2, donation of Riverside High School for Cesar Ornelas injury law. Okay. So the order of agenda has been approved. May I have an electronic motion on the consent, on the remaining consent agenda items listed on this agenda as recommended by the administration? Oops. Ms. Woodruff.
Mr. President, I move to approve the remaining consent agenda items listed on this agenda as recommended by the administration.
We have a second one by Mr. Mike Rosales. Please cast your electronic votes. All votes have been cast. Results are 5 in favor, none opposed. We are going to consider the full consent agenda item number 6, which is,
Mr. Ochoa, I'd like to say something before I make the motion on this one.
okay, well, let me read it and then we can.
Okay.
Number 6, designating and renaming of the North Loop Elementary as international school.
So the reason why I wanted to pull this is to give special recognition to North Loop Elementary. You guys accomplished kind of a miracle in the midst of struggling with a pandemic and having a school consolidation. You guys have pulled off getting another language into our school at North Loop, and I'm just very, very proud of your hard work. We lost Hacienda International School, but Bel Air is back in the game now with North Loop International Elementary School. Thank you so much for your hard work.
Okay, may I have a motion?
Mr. President,
Ms. Woodruff?
I move to approve the proposed renaming of North Loop Elementary to North Loop International School.
We have a second by Mr. Shane Haggerty. Please cast your votes. Results are in. 5 in favor, none opposed. Thank you.
Congratulations.
All right, we're going to go to policy items. Number 1, correction to policy DEC, local compensation and benefits, leaves and absences. Is there any discussion? No further discussion. May I have an electronic motion? Mr. Rosales.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve correction to policy DEC, local, as recently adopted by the board, as recommended by TASB Legal Services, as presented in the backup materials.
We have a second by Ms. Connie Woodruff. Please cast your votes. Results are in. 5 in favor, none opposed. Action item number 1, endorsement of candidate for Region 19, member of TASB Board of Directors. Is there any discussion? I have something that I want to say before we do this. Okay. Ms. Bullard could not be with us tonight. She had other pressing engagements, but she did send me a letter to the board and Dr. La Torre. She says, "Thank you for placing my request for a letter of recommendation to TASB for the role of interim TASB director on your agenda for tonight. I deeply apologize for not being in attendance today for your meeting. However, I work for a school district, and tonight the campus and I helped lead for the past 4 years is being recognized for receiving an A rating from TEAs for this past year." We understand that. So while I sincerely regret missing the opportunity to present myself before you, I am sure you all understand the excitement of receiving such a rating. Congratulations to you all and the SLED ISD for their A rating. While I know it is not necessary for this interim position to receive the endorsement from our region's district, I am humbly asking for your board's recommendation for the position. As with any job interview, I do see being a TASB director and representing our region's students and district as a job. It is always good to take letters of recommendation. I am applying for this interim position as I know it will be my calling to be an advocate for students and for our school districts. I am attaching a bio to provide you with a bit more information about myself. Again, thank you for considering my request for a letter of recommendation. Also, thank you all for everything you do for our students. Sincerely, Marlene Bullard, Board President, Tornillo ISD. Thank you, Ms. Bullard. I think we're all in consensus that you are doing a great job, and we've all had the pleasure of working with you and meeting you in some of our Region 19 meetings. But yes, sir.
I just wanted to echo some of those comments. Ms. Bullard is a trustee for Tornillo ISD, and we think we have challenges on our board. Work on a small school board with a community that has no government except for the school board. And they have incredible challenges over there, and the board and their academic team and their superintendent step up and meet those challenges. I've had the privilege of working with Ms. Bullard on several things. The latest one is the TASB Legislative Advisory Council. She's deeply committed to public ed as an educator herself. So it doesn't surprise me that she elected to go celebrate with her school tonight, because I know she feels strongly about that. So I'm very pleased to endorse this tonight.
Thank you. Anybody else? If no further discussion, may I have an electronic motion? Mr. Rosales?
Mr. Chairman, I move to provide YSD endorsement of Marlene Bullard for the interim position of TASB Director for Region 19 position on the TASB Board of Directors.
We have a second by Mr. Sotero Ramirez. Please cast your electronic votes. Results are in. 5 in favor, none opposed. Moving on to donation to Riverside High School for Cesar Ornelas injury law. Is there any discussion?
Mr. President, I'd just like to say thank you to Mr. Ornelas Injury Law, because this was a very nice donation that they gave. But I also want to say thank you to Riverside High School, because it looks like that donation is going to be spent in such a great way, providing turkeys for needy families in their community. And so to both of those groups, I just want to say thank you for doing such a great job there.
Thank you. I'd like to say on behalf of Mr. Bustillos, who could not be here, he also wanted to thank the Cesar Ornelas Injury Law Firm for their generous donation. He appreciates all the support that Riverside has gotten from them, and look forward to Riverside implementing this money to further benefit our kids at Riverside. And thank you again on behalf of our Vice President, Mr. Carlos Bustillos. No further discussion. May I have a motion? Ms. Woodruff?
Mr. President, I move to accept a donation to benefit the Riverside High School community from Cesar Ornelas Injury Law in the amount of $7,500 as per policy CDC local. Donations and gifts of $5,000 and above shall be approved and accepted by the Board of Trustees.
Please cast your electronic votes. Results are in, 5 in favor, none opposed. Thank you again. All right, so we come to the biggest part of our board meeting. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.